Hello, everyone. It's Ray Zor from the Horror Syndicate. Tonight, Seth and I are going to talk some horror. You can ask us anything you want, and we're going to talk about what horror franchises would make excellent television series because we're getting the Friday the 13th TV series, the Crystal Lake TV series, probably next year at some point. And we kind of were chatting after our show last week when we talked about the Invisible Man. Um, about what could make a good series. We've seen the Scream franchise turn into I don't know if it's two different series or if it's one with 3 or 4 seasons, but I saw the first season. It was completely different and it wasn't bad. And there's a I think there's a show called Slasher that's out there on Netflix. And it seems like a lot of things are switching to the series format, with Chucky becoming a series, which kind of I was disappointed in that. Seth said the first season was good, and the second season's starting to disappoint. But I think there are some decent franchises that could be series. Not that I want them to move away from making films. I'd rather see a Friday the 13th film than a Friday the 13th series. But if they do the Friday the 13th or the Crystal Lake series the right way, it could make more sense. So I'm going to bring Seth in, and we're going to talk this out. If you have any questions at all for us, just anything, it doesn't have to be about a franchise turned into a series. It could be what my bra size is, uh, or whatever you want. Just you know, we'll bring it on the screen and we'll talk, we'll chat, have a little bit of Friday night horror conversation. But we will have our main conversation in the background, and we'll probably bullshit a little bit because Seth and I like the bullshit, don't we?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. So, how's your 2 days since the show?
Been all right. Busy.
I gotta tell you, as much as I love the Universal movies, I think I've had my fill with Universal movies. Yeah, we watched like 24 Universal movies in the last month or
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Uh, I love them and everything, but it's like by the time I got to the Invisible Man's Revenge, I was like, thank God, this is over. Because it's just I had enough of Universal horror for the month. Moving on, we'll be doing at some point we're going to be doing a Confession of the Fred Krueger uh, commentary. I don't know if we're going to do that on a regular show night or some other night because Nate asked me when I wanted to do it. And I'm like, anytime you want, bro. And then that was the end of the conversation. But I believe next week we're doing the Cat and the Canary and the Old Dark House. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
so.
But I got to ask anybody who's out there if you have a movie or a topic you'd like us to discuss, let us know in the comments because uh, we can do that. We've done that. We've taken requests. Somebody requested the Lost Boys, and though Nate was not a fan of doing that one, we talked about the Lost Boys, and I think there's been a few other ones that we've done as well. I hope this isn't a request, but Halloween, yeah, we've done Halloween. I'm just wearing a Halloween shirt today because I'm feeling spooky. No, I'm not. Anyway, so Seth, did you make a list of 5 franchises?
Yeah, I made a list of. Well, I mean, because I basically was going with either like a horror movie or a franchise, anything that could make a what I think would be a great series. And uh, personally, like I'm looking forward to Crystal Lake in a certain way, like, and I will watch it when it comes out, but I don't feel like any of the bigger horror franchises like Friday the 13th, Halloween, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre would really work as well as a series. Elm Street would, but
Elm Street, absolutely. That's on my list.
yeah. So why don't you start with your list,
Well, I
or
mean,
start with
it's
one of yours on your
what I
list?
want to start with is I'd like to kind of get your kind of talk about that Crystal Lake series and expectations because in my head, because they're talking about, oh, we'll see Jason and stuff. Why we shouldn't be seeing Jason. I feel like it should, if they do it, they should do it when like leading up to Jason's death, and Mrs. like almost played out like sleepaway camp in a way, not where people are dying, but it could start off with Jason's death, and then you start having mysterious deaths, but we already know who it is, and there's a lot of drama you can add into it. They could finally show Jason's father Elias, and whatever. It could be good. What's up, Luke? And that's what I think. It should be a period piece that takes place in the 50s and the 60s. Season one can be what happens at the very beginning of the movie. Season two could be the water contamination, stuff like that. I don't want to see Jason in a hockey mask in this series ever. I mean, Friday the 13th is one day. It's not, I mean, I don't want to see a whole, I don't know. That's just not for me. I'll watch it, or I'll say I'll watch it like the Chucky series and not start it ever. So, um, yeah. What are your thoughts on the Crystal Lake series?
I mean, I'm curious about it. I think it's got a good showrunner attached to it.
Yeah,
With A24 being attached too, it sounds like there could be some quality to it. I don't know if it's really necessary for a series really
neither
about
is Chucky.
Pamela. Well, I mean, Chucky makes a little bit more sense because the Chucky series is continuing on the story from the films, so it's still connected. But like this will be starting fresh, and it'll be from the way the showrunner talked. Like it's going to start off with Pamela, but
Yeah.
eventually as the series progresses, it's going to get into uh, Sackhead Jason, and then eventually Hockey Mask Jason.
All I want Jason movies. I don't want a show. I didn't get to watch the Chucky show yet, so I can't really comment on it. I just remember thinking about how unnecessary it was when they announced it, and I still feel like it's unnecessary, especially since the series was going in the right direction, and then let's do a show instead. It's like, come on.
I would have preferred if Don Mancini just kept going with movies, because I really like Curse and Cult,
Those are
especially
good.
Curse of Chucky. I mean, that was like the that was like the redeeming factor for that series after Seed of Chucky nearly killed it.
Yeah,
The Chucky show, actually, I was concerned about it at first when it was first announced, but having seen it, it is fun. There's a lot of really fun stuff to it. Chucky is able to swear. I think he's allowed to say the F bomb like 10 times at least.
that's a lot.
Yeah. They actually poke fun of it in a new episode this season. But,
Mm.
Season 2 is kind of going down. It kind of started with the finale of season 1 where it was kind of going downhill, but it's still kind of fun and I'll still watch it. And, but I'm at a point now where I was watching the last episode last night because I had it DVR'd, and the entire time I'm watching, I'm just like, I really wish that they would just drop the show, end it properly and all that, but
Mm.
then just get back to doing the movies because I don't know how it's. I mean, long term, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I'll get caught up at some point. I'd like to, but I always will say that about Supernatural. How I'll get caught up at some point, and I still haven't.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Also, if anybody's watching, remember, ask us anything you want while we're talking. We'll try to answer the best we can. Any topic, any whatever. Um, I think my number one choice is an Elm Street series because I think that between the big three, I think that show would make the most sense
Yeah.
because I mean, you could have a running cast that just gets picked off throughout the series, and Freddy, I mean, he can stalk people's dreams forever. I don't think there's a real way to kill him. I think forgetting about him is probably the best way to kill him off, as they kind of did in Freddy's Dead, and Jason Goes to Hell. Or, I mean, Freddy versus Jason. Ugh, I don't like that movie. The more I think about it, have you watched it yet? Come on.
I mean,
That
just to be
whole
clear, I've seen it before. He's
I
asked me.
know. I'm just saying you were supposed to watch it to see if it's gotten any worse, and I know it
Yeah.
has.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I think that's my top of my list. Uh, I don't know why, but a Dracula show I think would be kind of cool. I know they did something on Netflix as a miniseries, but something a little bit longer that kind of follows the novel a little bit closer. Maybe, and if even if it was just a one-off show series, I think that'd be kind of cool. I'd like to see something like that, and that's what I was hoping that series was going to be then on Netflix, but it didn't turn out. It got weird by the third episode, which I
Yeah.
still kind of liked it, but like overall, I really like the first episode or two was really good, and I was hoping that's what we'd get. So I was like, I love Dracula, and I'd love to see a full story of Dracula that takes place back in the past, based on Stoker's uh, novel. What about a Saw
Well,
show, horror,
I don't.
crime, drama?
That'd be kind of
Yeah,
interesting. I
I could
think.
see that. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm surprised that's not a show already. Instead, they keep making
Yeah.
bad
Right.
movies. The Dracula show would be amazing. Yeah, like I could see that. The legacy of Jigsaw or something like that. Living on. But in many ways, I think the Saw movies are bullshit because of the fact that old man who's dying of brain cancer set up all those traps, and he had all that time to do that. I know he had helpers, but come on, some of those were so like, especially the late ones
Uh,
that were Hoffman or whatever. But I mean, I like the
yeah.
Saw movies, but they're kind of just ridiculous in many ways.
Oh
But
yeah. I mean, me too. Like I enjoy them. Like every time they come out, I'll go see it open a
mhm,
weekend. But like they're very convoluted.
yeah, I mean, it's like kind of like the Purge movies. I didn't watch the Purge show. That's another one I got to show. But
Mm.
those movies are just fun popcorn type movies, just like the Saw movies. Also, I think Scream would still be another series that could work. I know, like I said, there was one 5 or 6 years ago, and they had a couple seasons or a second version. I don't know. I feel like Scream could work within the same universe that the movies exist in, because think about copycat killers in different locations in that mask, and it doesn't have to be that. The mask in the series was weird looking, but like I think the series worked. It was just too MTV because it was MTV. Everybody was beautiful, every set was beautiful. The cop looked like he was 25, he's like supposed to be 40 or something. It's like that was the biggest problem. Cosmetics were the problems with that show, where I think if they'd set it somewhere else, it would be cool if it was set in Florida, where the basis of Scream came from. The idea from the I can't remember the name of the town that it was killing in, but it was from Florida. Some slasher from Florida. I'll have to look it up because I can't remember. I'm back. What'd you get? What'd you get? I had breakfast pizza for dinner. It was delish. That's why I had to poop before I came on the
Well, the
show.
thing with the thing with Scream is like with 4 and 5, they really kind of set up the idea of the stab movies being very influential on the wrong people.
Yeah,
So that could be an element that they could go with and keep it tied in with the series.
the
Everything
Gainesville Ripper. There you go.
that's happened in the movies. And they could sort of connect to, like, they could still do Scream movies, but do a Scream show, and do, like, in the
Like
background on TV, you see something from.
a mainline
Yeah.
story that would be Sydney Prescott and beyond for the movies, and then have a spin-off series that, like, yeah, so Gainesville Ripper, which I should have remembered because my dad lived in Gainesville. But yeah, I mean maybe it should be in Florida like that, a fictional town like Mainsville. But and be a copycat type of show, and you can do 8 episodes. You can go to 8 episodes these days. I mean, I'm seeing shows. The Disney Plus shows are doing 8 episodes, and uh, put it on. Who owns Scream? Is it Paramount or who? I can't remember. But put it on one of those streaming services. You know,
Paramount has it
uh,
now.
yeah. So I don't know. That's what I think. I don't want to see anything go to Netflix though, because I to the point of I want to get rid of Netflix. But those are three of mine so far. I guess Scream doesn't really count because it's already existed. But another one that we've got an Evil Dead series that was pretty good So I mean, a horror series can be good. So now I've done a couple of mine. So let's hear one of yours.
All right. So I kind of went a little differently, I guess. But
If you
so
bring
the
up
first one I'll
Supernatural,
mention is
if you bring up Supernatural, I'm cutting you off.
it's already a
Bring back
show. They
Supernatural.
should do a
Gone.
movie. They should do a
Oh
movie.
God.
So the first one actually I wrote down is one I don't consider to be horror. A lot of people do, but I still think it would be a great TV show. They Live. I think you could do a
That could
really
be a
cool
TV show.
TV show about someone, you know, all that, and just have a really kind of drawn out.
Well, I mean, they could have done that even with the movie if you think about it, like because everything was really quick in the movie, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
So I could
yeah,
see
for
that.
sure.
I should have known
Yeah,
that Carpenter thing was coming. What am I thinking?
there's one on the list, but I won't mention it.
Oh my lord! In the Mouth of Madness, I'm guessing.
Another one I have. Yes. Oh, since you ruined it. Yeah, I mean, we mentioned this on the show that we did about In the Mouth of Madness. Is that the idea of doing a different season based on a different Sutter Kane book? You know, use the title of one of his books from the movie, and then lead up to In the Mouth of Madness. I think that'd be kind of a really cool idea.
You know who would be great as a showrunner? This is Mike Flanagan.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah,
That would make the most sense.
How many Sutter Kane books were there? 5?
I think there was 5.
Yeah, because the stories were never like we never really knew. We knew what happened in one of them or maybe 2 of them, just like little tidbits here and there. But yeah. Anyway, I think that's a good idea. I think I watched that. Yeah, for sure. I definitely watched that. I mean, there's other like horror movies. When you said that, I started thinking about other horror movies that I like that I'd like to see in longer form, but like I think could be just like a little bit longer. Like I know they took Rosemary's Baby and made it into a TV miniseries. They did that too. The Shining, they did that too. Salem's Lot, you know, which Salem's Lot, even the old movie, that could definitely get long format TV show. Oh, here's an interesting one. The Blair Witch TV series. Now, my question is, how would that be set up? Would it be set up like the movie or set around the town of Burkittsville? I feel like something along those lines would be good. Maybe have the sheriff involved, Craven or whatever. I think that'd be kind of cool. What do you think?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I just don't know how it would work long
If
form.
it can't be found footage like that, that would get old fast.
Like maybe like a period piece about the witch herself.
Ooh, Ellie Kedward. That'd be kind of cool. Or even following Rustin Parr, the guy who abducted the kids and killed them in the house. You know, that'd be kind of cool. The Howling would be neat.
That's on my list.
Yeah, he's just like sucking up to you.
Well, of course.
Told American Werewolf from London. That'd be a great series. Actually, probably would. That probably could make a good show.
It could.
I mean, you could probably take a lot of these. Like, I know, there's some of them that I didn't think about because I know, like, Hellraiser's been discussed. They've discussed an Alien show before. You know, there's a lot of them that have kind of been talked about, but like I don't know. For me right now, it's Dracula. It's Elm Street. You know, those are my top 2. And how would you do a Howling series?
Well, there's I would basically go back to the books.
Right. Oh, absolutely. By the way, Seth wrote an article breaking down the 3 books, horrorsyndicate.com. It's the second or third article from the top of the page. Check it out.
Yeah. And I think I would start, just for the sake of freshness, I would start with the 3rd book, because the 3rd book is more of a companion piece. Whereas if you start with the first, it's already been done twice before, and I don't know. I feel like you could start with the third book and then work in the events of the first and second book, and just kind of build from there, and maybe eventually even get into some of the movie stuff like Sturba.
Well, I mean, after they finish with the books, they could definitely expand on some of the movies. Sturba,
Yeah.
even Freaks would be fun. You know,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So there's definitely something in there with the Howling. I mean, and it would please a lot of people who are fans of the book, well, like you. So
Yeah.
just one person. And no, I'm joking. Yeah, no, I think that would be really cool. I just had a thought. What if they did a show, a Halloween show, but it has nothing to do with Michael Myers, and it's not an anthology show, but it follows Dr. Loomis and all his other crazy patients. I just thought of that off the top of my head. Like, may not be a good idea, but I don't know. All right.
I don't
So
know. I
so
mean,
we've talked about three of yours already. Then
yes.
you're so predictable. John Carpenter, The Howling. Now, one we kind of talked about that could actually work is I think Phantasm could be a show. Could be a good road movie type show. You know, kind of like Supernatural. They're always traveling town to town, and that's what you get Reggie and Mike. I'd hate to have to recast Reg because Reggie Bannister, such an icon to me, such an iconic character, and only one person has played them. But you know, and make Jody the Ball, like in what was that, the third one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Third and fourth.
I
Yeah.
think there's a way to do it, and kind of just maybe ride off the first movie where because Mike and Reg were going on the road anyway, and they kind of were doing that in part two. If you kind of take the spirit of Phantasm 2 and make it long form, it could be an interesting show. I think you also have to recast the tall man, but
Well, how about this? A sequel series with A. Michael Baldwin as the tall man. Because if you think about it, with Phantasm 4,
he's not very tall, but yeah, I can see what you're saying.
but well, I know he's not very tall, but like, I mean, they could do some magical tricks with it. But like, I mean, with Phantasm 4 especially, it really seemed like they were setting up the idea of Mike becoming the new tall man. And
Yeah, they did.
there was like one shot, like one profile shot of his face where like he looked just like Angus.
Mm-hmm. That could be cool. He could be just whatever the tall man's name is or whatever. Luke says the thing would be a good limited series. I am going to disagree with that. I love the thing. It's perfection as it is, and it's then the story itself. Who goes there is super short anyway. I don't think. I think the short period that it takes place is perfect. I don't think it needs to go on too long. But I mean, that's good for your idea, I guess. I don't know. Here's one, but not a series, but Frighteners as it's hell yeah.
Yeah.
That would be excellent. I like that
Yeah.
idea. Yeah, that's a great underrated movie actually. Nobody talks about Frighteners. Frighteners is a good one. I haven't watched that one in a while. Plus that one's somewhat family friendly. There's the movie is,
it starts off family friendly.
Oh, and it gets pretty dark.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. I think the ending kind of ruins the movie a little bit with Gary Busey's son and everything. Like everything before that, when he's revealed, it's like that was a letdown. I remember that being a letdown. But Michael J. Fox's character going around doing all that stuff, that could be a fun show. The Leprechaun, maybe. Is that on your list too?
Leprechaun, no.
No. Frighteners, man, that's a fun movie. Nobody ever talks. We should put that on our list to talk about for season 4 of the Discourse Show.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the cool and like I think like what you were saying with that, it'd be kind of cool, like having the Michael J. Fox character, like just doing different, doing what's that?
Wait, wasn't his name Frank?
Yes, Frank Bannister.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's what I
thought. He doing the different jobs, conning people, having this ghost do stuff and all that. I think that'd be fun.
Mm-hmm. I think it would be too. It'd be hard to recast, but I think it'd be fine. Michael J. Fox and Arlie Ermy, who was the drill sergeant guy.
And don't forget
Uh,
about Dee Wallace.
yeah, and they would never have to bring back. Well, Dee Wallace could be a part of it for sure. I mean, she's still around and not in that same role, but
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, she was like incredible as that character in the
yeah,
movie,
she
especially
was.
towards the end.
Yeah, yep. I love Dee Wallace. Who doesn't love some Dee Wallace though? I was
That's
happy to
right.
see her show up in the Halloween movies, the Rob Zombie, and then she was in the Lords of Salem, which is the best Rob Zombie movie, in my opinion. You got another one?
Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with this one at all, but John dies at the end.
Um,
So
I don't know. I've never heard of that before. You've never mentioned that before. In the 4 or so years that I've known you, I don't think you've ever mentioned John dies at the end.
no, that's weird.
No. Yeah. I think I
So
have an idea of what your fifth one's going to be too.
oh yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
okay. So John dies at the end is a really good movie that is it's sort of like a condensed version of the first book. There's a lot of stuff that was left out that they had to leave out, obviously for time purposes. But because there are 4 books now, and the fifth one is being planned for next year, the year after that, I think they could do like each season be one book, and
Mm-hmm.
it would be awesome. I don't know really how to talk. It's like cosmic horror, and basically the books are written by a complete smartass. In case you couldn't tell with the title,
Mm-hmm.
spoiler alert: he does not die at the end. Um, but I think it would be a really fun series to do, and I was just re-listening to all the audiobooks of all of them, and I think it would be great.
I've never seen the movie. I've had ample time. It's been out for what 7 or 8 years now,
Yeah.
and it's one of those that is on my list of movies to watch. I just really haven't gotten around to it. But if you think it sounds good,
It's a
I'll
fun
trust you.
story.
I need to watch this goddamn thing
Yeah.
because
But like I would highly recommend the books to anyone over the movie. I mean, I like the movie a lot, but the book the book series is great.
yeah, and there's 4 of them.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, Matthew Fleming says urban legends. That's interesting, and I could see that working. Um, which reminded me that I know you did last summer also got a series on
Oh yeah, I
Amazon.
forgot about that.
Totally forgot about it. Yeah, but yeah, that's interesting. There's a way that could work. I mean, first of all, there's tons of urban legends, and it worked out like the movie was a slasher, so there's a way to work it out. I kind of like that idea. Okay, for Seth's fifth idea for a series based off of a movie, am I wrong?
You are right.
Yep, Odd Thomas.
Yep.
Um, and I don't disagree. I fucking love that movie. And
Yeah.
I don't know if it's well, no, it's the movie because it's not just Anton. It's Willem Dafoe, the girl, his girlfriend. I can't remember her name. Stormy.
Stormy.
She is gorgeous, but also she's really good, and it's a fun ass movie. If you haven't seen Odd Thomas, it's absolutely one you need to check out. I think you did an article on the Horror Syndicate, didn't you? A review of it.
Yeah, did a review for it.
Yeah.
And
So
I'm
yeah,
a
go
big
now.
fan of all the books. There's like
The Dean Koontz books. Prom
yep.
Night.
There's like
Hmm.
6.
Go ahead, Seth.
Yeah, there's like 6 or 7 books, or maybe even more in the series, and it's just great. I think it would make for a great series. It has it really comes full circle by the end, so you could do all the books and tell a really nice story that comes to a satisfying conclusion. Obviously, no one can replace Anton, but or at least so I thought. Like after he died, I was like, because I was really hoping for more in this series, and I was like, no one could replace him, but I kind of think some other people could play that character.
I got somebody in mind already.
Who?
Dylan O'Brien. Do you know who that is?
I don't know who that is.
I'll look him up. He was in Maze Runner and something else.
The name sounds familiar.
That movie was so good. It surprised me so much. I didn't think much of it, and honestly didn't care for Anton Yelchin at the time. And then I saw that, and I was like, I love this guy. Yeah, I after that I was like, I started watching everything. There's a movie called what is it? I buried my something about his ex girlfriend. She comes back to life. Burying the Ex, I think, is what it's called, and she comes back as a zombie, and he's trying to date another girl. It's pretty funny, actually. It's a good movie. It's not very horror, but it's got Living Dead in it. Alexander Daddario's in it. Definitely worth watching if you haven't seen it. I'm pretty sure it's called Burying the Ex. I found a picture of that guy. I'll show it to you in just a second. But to me, he looks like he's a good actor, and he looks like Yelchin a little bit. I saved it. Where'd it go? I gotta get all this Universal stuff off my fucking computer. It's just clogging up stuff. Nope, that's Anton Yelchin. That's not him. I guess it didn't save. But anyway. Oh, hold on. So let me ask you this. Why not a Texas Chainsaw show?
I just don't see where it could go long term. I mean, what could be the story arc that could drive multiple seasons?
First of all, here's the guy that could replace Anton Yelchin.
Cousin fucker.
So Teen Wolf has already been a show. The Entity. I don't know. That could be like a mini series, I think. It's a great movie, though. I wrote an article about it, horrorsyndicate.com, of course. Yeah. Oh, there you go. He's in Teen Wolf. That's right. Yeah. Thank you, Louis. Yeah, he's in the Thing. Yeah, we talked about the Thing earlier. So the way they set up the movie, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they seem to get people who go off on that road. It would probably get old over time, but I think that you could set it up that way that the family. Oh, look, Facebook user says hi.
Zuckerberg, is that you?
Yeah, he's watching us. Be on your best P's and Q's. But I think I don't know. You could do something like that. There could be a town, not far away, because we see at the beginning of Texas Chainsaw, the law comes down on the farm and stuff. And I mean, I think there are ways to do it, but keeping it fresh might be hard. Which is funny I say fresh, if you know what I mean. Fresh meats. It's Michael Horan. Why does it say Facebook user? That's strange.
Must be having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, must be. But anyway, that's just an idea. That wasn't even on my list, but that just kind of like a thought to throw out there, something that could be. So far, American Psycho. If you follows Patrick Bateman on for a while, that could actually work really well, because I love first of all, I love Christian Bale's narration of Patrick Bateman in the movie, and I read the book, the Bret Easton Ellis book, which is fucking, oh my god, have you ever read that?
I haven't read that one yet.
You have to. It's fucked up. It's if you think the movie's fucked up, the book is even more fucked up. like really fucking fucked up. Anyway, like at one point he pisses on a one of those, what are they called? They're in urinals, urinal cakes, and then he
Yep.
like puts chocolate on it or something and feeds it to somebody he is unhappy with.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I think that could work. It'd just be following Patrick Bateman and almost getting almost like Dexter. I think, in a way, it could be almost like a Dexter show.
I could
Which
see that.
did you see Dexter?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dexter's excellent. I could definitely see that.
Well,
Good
I've seen the
call.
first 3 seasons.
Oh, you got to watch the rest, bro.
Yeah.
Stop watching Supernatural on repeat and watch Dexter. Anyway, I'm trying to think. Like I had them in my head. I didn't write them down. I should have written them down. I'm looking at my movies, trying to remember what my other choices were. So we named all yours, didn't we?
Yeah.
Why don't you run through them again real fast while I try to remember my last one?
So my list was They Live, which I think would make for a fun TV series. In the Mouth of Madness, which I think it'd be kind of fun to do each season be based off a different Sutter Kane book and different Sutter Kane characters, all leading into In the Mouth of Madness. Then The Howlin', which I think they should go back to Gary Brandner's novels and then go from there and expand and include some of the stuff in the movies, because some of the movies do have some like interesting things to them. They were just poorly executed.
Mm-hmm.
Especially part 5, like the whole castle thing. I think that'd be kind of cool. And
That
then I
one's
went with,
underrated like crazy.
yeah, I love that one. And then I went with John Dice at the end. I love the book series. I think it would make for a really fun TV series. Those characters are a lot of fun. There's a heavy dose of sarcasm with those stories. And then finally, as Ray predicted, Odd Thomas, because I love the movie, I love all the books and the character, and it's just a really cool. It's a really cool series that kind of like every time I read the books or if I listen to the audiobooks, I kind of get sucked in. So those are some of the ones I would go with.
Yeah, I think those are pretty good calls. I mean, I think my black hat with Halloween '78 shirt. My name's Ray. Uh, that is my profile pic. Okay. Um, black hat with Halloween shirt. That's my new code name. um,
I like it.
anyway, mine was my first one was predictable. A Nightmare on Elm Street. I do think would make an excellent series
I
because it
agree.
would just follow a group of teens, in Springwood on Elm Street. Well, they don't all have to be on Elm Street, but here's Dylan O'Brien, by the way. Kind of look similar, don't they? Look like they'd be brothers, right? No,
I guess I could see it.
fine, never mind. I don't have any good ideas. And then I said I'd like to see a long form Dracula show based off the novel, but it would be a mini series or just a one off series, but 8 episodes or something like that. I don't want something that will go 2 or 3 seasons where they start taking away from what came out of the book. I think that'd be kind of bad. But
I don't know if I don't know if you remember, but remember I sent you that pitch thing that I wrote a long
mhm,
time ago
yeah.
for like a Dracula sequel series.
Hmm.
So
Well, if we were in control, it'd be different. We're not. I mean, if we had complete control over what gets made, then we could start throwing stuff like because I got tons of ideas for
yeah,
sequels to like Halloween and anyway. Um, yeah, well, I forgot what was the third one I said. Scream, oh yeah, the Scream series that would take place within the same universe as the original movies, following maybe going in this guy. Find it on search. My name is Michael Horan. Okay. Um, this reminds me of a horror movie. There's a movie where these people are in a chat. I can't remember what it's called. It might be Unfriended or something like that, where they're in a chat and somebody jumps in that they don't know, and it's just like a black screen, and they're messaging as their dead friend or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. Not a very good movie, but it was all told through like a Zoom call. So might have been made during the pandemic.
Isn't there something like that in not quite like that, but like I don't know. For some reason, I was thinking of Strangeland.
Kinda. You will see the profile. Okay, I'll take your word for it right now. I'm Phantasm. See, it's Unfriended. Phantasm could be a good show.
Yes.
Unfriended,
Yep.
yeah. I think that could be a good show. I thought about like, and I know The Walking Dead has run its course, but I think setting something in like the Romero zombie universe as a show would be pretty cool. I thought about that for a while ago. This isn't one of my on my list, but you know, The Walking Dead's The Walking Dead. I love the comics. I read all the comics and had a great time with them. I I just I prefer the Romero world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I the interesting thing about that too, though, is like the difference between The Walking Dead and Romero's films is Romero's films the zombies evolve.
Yeah.
So there's really interesting stuff there, and I thought about this before because Night of the Living Dead is essentially what the fuck is that called? It doesn't have a copyright. Can't think of the term. Public domain.
Yeah, public domain. Is it
So anyone could
still?
do anything with it. So I was thinking, do a series, start with call it Night of the Living Dead or whatever.
Mhm.
Start with that story, Night of the Living Dead, but then continue on with say, but have like Barbara survive, have even Ben survive, have him get shot in the head, but like it maybe grazes him or something like that, and he continues on for season two, and then like have him find them all, and just kind of like rework Romero's stories, but with instead of different groups of characters, one group of characters going through everything. And, maybe after they flee them all, they run into, Dr. Logan, I don't know.
I mean, it'd be cool that especially using Night of Living Dead as your jump off point.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Have you seen? Whoops. Uh, have you seen the trailer for the Last of Us series? Yeah. I played some of the video game, but that's Nate and Keith are big fans of that, so I can't really say much on that. That's another zombie type series, I guess. That's coming soon. Mm, I love the Halloween franchise as well. So does Seth here. It's what's your favorite movie from the series? Let us know. I always change mine. But
You
anyway,
always,
yeah. So there's a lot of, I'm sure there's a lot of regular horror movies that they can make series out, and there's been a bunch already where they felt like it's, let's The Purge, let's make a show out of it. The Mist, they made a show out of The Mist, which didn't seem to do well. Uh, yeah, I mean 78's the best one. So, oh yeah, Luke likes The Last of Us as well. But yeah, like I don't know, there's I could see an Alien series, which they've talked about before.
they
There's a
are,
ton of them. The Lost Boys could be a good one,
yeah.
television series. I don't know who you'd follow in that, but I don't think you follow, David and his brood. But I don't know. Then it would be too much like the movie. I don't know. I just looked at the case. I was like, oh, that might be good. The
You
Lost
follow,
Boys.
you follow the saxophone guy.
There you go. Every time he puts on a new pair of leopard skin pants. Uh, Yeah, I think the Lost Boys would be good. I don't know. There have been plenty of vampire shows out there with like True Blood and Vampire Diaries, which I have watched the first 5 seasons of because my wife. Uh, And then True Blood, I watched the whole thing. I liked it, but this would be different because they'd be more like hardcore vampires. Shit, Fright Night. Fright Night could be a good one.
I was thinking about that earlier, but I was just trying to think of like what could the story be.
Just
But
expand everything with Charlie Brewster being the main character as usual. Just expand it and don't kill off Jerry Dandridge so fast. Keep it a mystery and follow Jerry Dandridge a little bit too, because everybody knows the story of Fright Night. I mean, horror fans anyway, and don't let it be a mystery that Jerry Dandridge is a vampire. The end of the first episode was Jerry Dandridge in the window and Charlie sees him, you know, and then you go on from there and you get to see Jerry Dandridge, being seductive to all these different women. And we'll find out what his fucking caretaker is, and
yeah,
the goo coming out of him or whatever it was. But yeah, I mean, because you got other, like, think about Fright Night 2, where you get introduced to other kind of monsters, and kind of there's a little bit of an underworld with the monsters as well. I mean, you could probably go pretty deep into it, and episodes where you follow, maybe Jerry Dandridge turns somebody and they follow that person. And the running thing that could be really fun is Peter Vincent on TV, but you never see Peter Vincent until like the end of the season. Like he's all like Charlie's always watching him. He's on the TV somewhere in the background. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I'm definitely curious though because like the OG Tom Holland has been he turned the Fright Night into a book recently,
Yeah.
and according to the back of the book, like all the new stuff that's revealed in this book is going to lead to uh, lead to more in a series. I can't remember the exact phrasing. Brundlefly.
Seth Brundlefly. Do you want to see how he eats? I mean, and then in a miniseries format, The Fly could be cool. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like a 6 episode miniseries. I mean, the evolution of Brundlefly is so cool in that movie, but seeing it like spaced out over time and seeing him kind of fall apart more, finding out how his penis ends up in a jar, stuff like that would be, or on the shelf or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like, because some of the best scenes in that movie are like when his fingernail falls off, or he's his, like that's some of the best stuff in that movie. Like like I never was thought of him as one of the characters you feel sad for, but watching with my daughter, she was so sad for him, you know, and I kind of agree with her, you know. Oh, it'd be kind of good. Suspiria would be because all the stuff that happens within the dance studio,
I
and they
could,
could get deeper into the legend of the Three Mothers, or they
yeah,
could just do a Three Mothers show that because Inferno we got to see the second one, and Mother of Tears came out way later.
I'll do you one better.
Okay,
Demons. Demons TV show would be fucking rad.
that would be fun. I mean, yeah, it would be fun, but I'd prefer it if it was based off Demons too.
The second best one.
You can't have Demons two without Demons. So,
Yeah.
but I love well, mostly the thing I love about Demons too is I like the setting. I like the setting of both of them quite a bit. You got the movie theater, and then you got the high rise, but it's all about the main demon. Like they really focus on Sally in the second movie, and you kind of follow Sally around in the second movie, and I fucking love Sally. She's so great. She's got the best run, and she goes blind at one point, and I have a YouTube channel. I make horror. Oh, great.
What's
What?
the
Yeah, just drop the title of it
yeah,
the comments, and we'll check it out.
yeah.
But yeah, like I think demons would be fun, and they could do they could do like how Sally was watching like the reenactment of demons or whatever on the TV. They could do that too, where it starts off with those people, checking out Nostradamus' stuff and and it just like spreads throughout the world. That could be a cool show.
Or you could just do a spin-off show about the group of punks driving around with coke in a coke can.
Yeah, yeah, cutting boobs with a straight razor. And then, yeah, I don't know. I think demons would be that's a good idea. I didn't think about that. Now you got me thinking about Italian stuff, like because you could do seven gate or the Lucio Fulci's Gates of Hell trilogy. You could make each one into a series, and then they'll all connect at the end. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Now,
Go ahead.
I was gonna go ahead if you're continuing on with what you're
I was
saying.
just gonna say I wrote an article about the definitive way to watch those. If you ever watch them in a row, because it almost becomes episodic. If you watch House by the Cemetery, City of the Living Dead, The Beyond, and then Zombie at the end, even though it's not a part of the Gates of Hell, but you figure by the end of The Beyond, the gates are open, and Zombie is the what happens at the end is when the what does he say? Peter say in Dawn of the Dead, when there's no room left in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Capital M with a small H. He's got a basketball. So check out Michael. Is it Horan? His YouTube channel. He does reviews, and give him a subscribe. And the Horror Syndicate, by the way, if you don't know, is also on YouTube. So if you get a chance to subscribe to the Horror Syndicate on YouTube, if you don't mind. But yeah, I think seeing something like that would be kind of cool. There's a plethora of ideas. I mean, you could do Return of the Living Dead into a series. Because like like think about the first movie. I think about the first three movies really, because 4 and 5 aren't that great. Although Rave to the Grave is pretty fun. That's the last one.
That's the only one I haven't seen.
That's better than the one before it, which is next.
Is it? Yeah.
What is it called?
Oh, I forgot. Oh, Necropolis.
Necropolis, yeah. I got it. Yeah, Rave to the Graves, it's kind of fun. But like I love the third movie. The
third one's great.
Horan. Okay, cool. But like you think about the military is kind of like in the third movie especially, they're trying to figure out a way to make these into weapons, and that could be fun, and I love that how many tanks could be like based on the first two movies, the tracks, and how many are out there, you know what I'm saying, like that. I'm surprised they didn't make 10 of these in the 80s, or well, maybe not 10, but a bunch of them in the 80s, because how many of those canisters are out there? They find one in a fucking sewer somehow. One's at a you need a medical supply center. Where are the rest of them? Because there's a bunch of them. And supposedly these caused Night of the Living Dead. So it could be fun. Plus horror comedy. Be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think it could be. Now I'm just gonna look at my collection, come up with something. 28 Days Later could be good.
Of the Wolfman.
The Wolfman.
Follow Larry Talbot.
As long as he's big pimping. Because that's what he does.
Well, of course.
Remember, if anybody's watching you, if you have any questions for us, put up comment, and we'll answer as best as we can, or with our own opinions. Lord of Illusions could be good. I like
or just
movie.
like a series about Harry.
Yeah, Harry Demore. Yeah, why hasn't that happened yet? He's also on Instagram. Yes, Undead83 on Instagram. I'm on Instagram too at Razor_33. I think. I don't remember what my Instagram is. Virginia, she follows me. I follow Courtney Cox. Apparently, she just popped up on my. Yeah. Oh, it's Razor33. By the way, Kevin Conroy died today. If anybody didn't know that, my friend just texted me to ask me if that happened. Very sad to hear that. Yep, Razor33. Follow me for all my nothing on Instagram. I really don't post much. I like my last post was today about Kevin Conroy. But before that, I posted about Nightmare on Elm Street the other day. I posted a picture of my son on a Horror Syndicate shirt. I posted some boobs, some Deftones. Posted Helena's ninth birthday, me seeing Rosemary's Baby on the big screen. That was amazing. Let me ask you this: anybody out there answer this question? If if you could go see any movie for the first time you've ever seen it in the movie theater in the year that it came out, what movie would that be? I mean, I obviously I would say Elm Street, but I'm going to go a step further and say The Exorcist or the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. One of those two.
Ooh, I mean, okay. There's a couple. I mean, one I would obviously love to see. I would have loved to have seen the old Universal movies when they came out.
Yeah, I wonder if they were actually scary.
Yeah, I mean, you think about how the genre has evolved since they've come out and how we've become more. I don't know. I forgot the word. I've drawn a blank, but like we've really kind of like adapted to the violence over the years and all that, and the audience has changed. So I would imagine that back then that those were scary, and it would be kind of fun to see people's reactions to them.
I would like to know that if they were scary back then.
Yeah,
Because
but
Michael, I just followed you on Instagram.
the big one for me is Elm Street 4. I would
No, that would be cool.
I would love, yeah.
That'd be really cool. I have awesome. Yeah, I just followed you, buddy. Halloween or Psycho? Yeah, I've seen Psycho on the big screen and Halloween, but not when they were released originally. I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre might scare me to the bone. And so The Exorcist. The reason for The Exorcist is just like the Terrifier 2 movie. You know, everybody's talking about their puking and whatever in the aisles. So like people were passing out during The Exorcist, which I think is more legit. I think some person maybe had a hot flash during Terrifier. It wasn't that bad. You could tell it was fake. You know, I will say Terrifier 2 is better than the first one. But anyway, yeah, The Exorcist is definitely one I would want to see. I absolutely love The Exorcist anyway, but I'm not one of those people who it's the scariest movie ever or whatever. It's I just like the movie, the good versus evil aspect. I love the performances in the movie. You know, it's just a good movie. So seeing it for the first time in the theater, like when it was released, that'd be just amazing to me. Rosemary's Baby, also, I'd have to say, I love that movie.
Or a double feature of The Exorcist and The Exorcist 3.
Why are these people kissing your butt?
Well, okay, Halloween 5: The Rebirth. I mean, it is awesome. Okay.
But like Luke and her both now have like, how about a Howling show? Howling 5, The Rebirth. Like, have you been like talking to these people about the Howling lately? Or do they just know how much you love the Howling? How about a
I think
marsupial
they know how
show?
much I love it. What's that?
How about a marsupial show?
There we go.
Now we're talking. Let's get on. We'll write the first episode.
Which, by the way, we need to have a discourse episode on.
Yeah, when you sent over your list of some episode ideas, I saw that I was waiting for marsupials to pop up.
I considered it.
Yeah, fuck that movie, man. There's not many movies that I'll say fuck that movie to, but that one I'll definitely say fuck that movie. I just like that movie. Yeah, marsupials. Oh man, I see. Because I'm one of those that likes The Howling too. I like it. I think it's a fine movie. I think it's also kind of a product of its time, and it's a sequel. So,
Yeah.
you know, I like that Sybil Danning was pissed at the end credits where it kept
Yeah.
flashing the scene where she pops her boobs out. I think that's hilarious.
I mean, that was definitely in poor taste on somebody's part.
Yeah, I love it. I don't care. She should be proud. She's very well endowed, and you know, will live on in that forever. Plus, the theme song to that movie is just epic. You know,
Yes, it is. I love it.
the
Are you talking
Howling.
about Five,
Yeah,
Virginia?
no. What she says the Howling that Howling movie was the first horror. Give me Howling 5. Interesting.
Well, I mean, Mary Lou gives me nightmares too.
Prom Night 2.
No, the I guess spoiler, the ditzy chick that actually turned out to be the werewolf in the movie.
Spoiler alert for a movie that is 33 years old. It was 1989, wasn't it?
Yes, well, except for on my DVD case, where on the back cover says the Howland 5 came out in 91 and Howland 6 came out in 89.
Yeah, that's
So,
right. That's how it works. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Idea. Let's get ahead of the curve. Let's do Howling 6, then Howling 5. That'll throw everybody off.
yes.
Yeah, that's a
Well,
good
it's
idea.
it's funny too. It's like my DVD case for the Howland 4,
Hmm.
like the back images are all images from part 3.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's not a
I think
single image from part
I
4
think
on
you
that.
told me that, or either you told me that, or I have the same thing.
I sent you the pictures,
That's what it was. You sent me the pictures, and I don't
but
even know where they are. Oh, there they are.
I mean, the Howland 5 Rebirth. I love that movie. I love it's a great. I mean, it like there's a lot of potential. That yes, exactly.
Yeah.
All from part 3.
Yep.
But I love Rebirth. I love
But
the
look at this
mystery
case
angle
though.
and the
Like that
castle.
looks fantastic.
Yeah, that's the best part of it.
It's shitty though. It is the best part of it. This is an old ass DVD too, man. 2001. How long I've had this.
That was one of those movies where, like, the first time I watched it, I was like, I'm never watching this again. And then one night, I started drinking, and I was like, okay, I'm going to torture myself, right? And so I put it in, and it's kind of grown on me since then.
The fourth one?
The third one.
The third one. Well, I think you
Or
might
sequel.
have a higher tolerance for crap than I do.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
that can't be right.
absolutely.
I watch a
Especially when I
lot of
drink.
garbage. I saw Halloween at 5, and for some reason I thought it was paint, even though Laurie takes it off. What, blood? Face paint.
The
Michael
mask.
Myers mask, yeah. I could see that. Um, I don't remember when I saw Halloween for the first time. It was sometime. My stepdad came back. I had a stepdad who was in the Marines. Happy Veterans Day, and to me. And anyway, he went to Japan for like a year or 6 months or something like that. And he came back in 1990, and he had a VHS that had it was just in a black case, and it just said Halloween in orange on the side of it. And that's how I think that's when I found it first because I've seen Halloween 2 and Halloween 4 before I saw Halloween. Did I ever tell you that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe
And
so.
then he had a second tape though that had uh, a Nightmare on Elm Street 5, Halloween 5, and Jason Takes Manhattan all on one tape. So yeah, he came. I guess they were bootlegs. They look fine from what I remember, but yeah, I think Lewis made me feel safe. I think the only movies that ever scared me growing up, like Freddy didn't even scare me. Like there was a couple jump scares in the first movie, but like Terror Vision for some reason scared me. I don't remember why, but I remember being scared of that movie. And Children of the Corn freaked me out a little bit. And Dawn of the Dead, the scene in Dawn of the Dead where the guy bites that big chunk out of his wife's neck. I assume that's his wife. That fucked me up for a long time because like that was another human eating another human's flesh. You know. Oh, Reanimator also got me when I was a kid. Again, they brought somebody back who was dead, and they came back to life. It was the big guy that was naked, and they take the bone saw through his chest. You know, Like that fucked me up when I was my mom over there is giggling because she watched horror movies like I do, giggling at gore, and that's gonna be my new Instagram handle, giggling at gore.
It's catchy.
Get me out of giggling at gore, but my mom was showing me all the bad stuff. Freddy never scared me, but Tina in the body bag with a centipede out of her mouth, yeah, I could see that. I didn't really the one that part scared me because like she was like laying on the ground and then her feet went up and started getting dragged away. I'm like, huh? I remember that. Like that's the one thing that's weird about you don't remember stuff that well from your childhood, but I remember reactions to the first Elm Street movie for me. You know, uh, yeah, I don't know. I love it. I watched it the other night after the show, bro, and guess what? Loved every second of it.
Of course, it's a great
What's
movie.
my favorite? It's my favorite horror movie. What's your favorite horror movie?
What was that little laugh there, Ray?
I already know what it is, unless it's changed recently.
Nah, American Werewolf in London.
Did I tell you that Helena watched that finally?
Oh, did you like it?
Oh my God, she loved it. She loved it. She was talking. She added that to her top 5 list, and she like so again. She felt sympathy for the main character, which you could. She thought the scene where he woke up naked and ran through with the balloons. She thought that was hilarious. But her favorite character is Jack, and
Of course, yeah.
when he said you look like Meatloaf or whatever, she died laughing at that. And then every time he showed up, she's like, "Oh, he looks worse." The last time, he's like, "Oh, the effects look really good." And this is like, that's my girl.
Yep.
Yeah. So she really liked that movie. And when on Halloween we were out with my wife's brother Jake, and she wanted to tell him. And I said, tell him without telling him that you've seen an American Werewolf in London. So she said, Uncle Jake, you look like walking Meatloaf. Yeah, I love that she is watching these movies and just really enjoying them, eating them up, really.
It would have been even better if she went up to him and said, "Naked American man stole my balloons."
I don't know. I think she was very taken by Jack. So, and why wouldn't you be? Get the fuck out of here, Jack.
You can eat that toast.
It's such a fun movie, man. It really is. It's without a doubt. It's not my favorite werewolf movie, but it's without a doubt the best werewolf movie out there. My favorite is, regardless of what Nate says, is Silver Bullet, and I have a soft spot for The Howling, so that would probably make American Werewolf 3. But now I have to sit through Paris because she wants to watch that now. So I got to figure out. She wants to watch American Werewolf in Paris. I gotta sit through that.
I have fun with Paris. I mean, the effects are fucking terrible.
Terrible.
And it's an inferior movie in every way possible, but there's still some fun to it for me. I don't know. I enjoy watching it.
Yeah, I do too. Well, it's been a long time, but the last time I watched it with a hater. So and sometimes like we were talking about movies that we want to discuss this year or next year on season 4, and Jared's been on me to rewatch that Neon Demon movie. And sometimes when I watch something, I hate to say this, but I'm influenced by the reaction of others. And like Elizabeth hated that movie. Now that she's not around, even though I miss her terribly, now that she's not around, I'll be able to get more of a real reaction to what I think of that movie, rather than kind of feeding off how she felt. She hated it, So I'm gonna watch it, give it another shot, because Jared just fucking loved it, and I think Nathan liked it a lot too. So, by the way, if you want to, it's cheap to buy, like $5 cheap, if you want to get it on Blu-ray, because we're definitely gonna do a show on it next year.
Okay.
Sometime. I'm gonna make a running list of shows we can do. I was hoping that Nate and Jared would, well, I haven't checked the chat since. Nate, so we might have Roman back on the show from Scream Queens. He wants to be a part of a Black Christmas episode. I hate that movie. Black Christmas is boring as fuck. Does not hold up. Okay. I wonder if Nate will be available. Say something. I'm typing to Nate.
Something. There, I just said it.
What's your favorite Christmas horror movie?
Favorite Christmas horror? I don't know. Either Gremlins or I like Black Christmas quite a bit.
Gremlins is awesome. Krampus is good too. I don't know. Black Christmas. I'll watch it. You know,
Batman Returns. Is that a horror movie?
No, but I'll take it. Somebody put up a meme the other day. If Die Hard's a Christmas movie, Lethal Weapon's a Christmas movie. No shit.
Yeah, right.
Like, come on, where have you been? It's been a Christmas movie since 1987. Since before Die Hard, right? I've loved Silver Bullet since my dad rented it in '86. That's probably correct. It came out in '85. Then years later, I watched it. Good, yeah. I mean, my kids love Silver Bullet. That's another one that I think is family friendly. You know, if you want to show your family a werewolf movie, Silver Bullet would be my choice because
I grew up with that
Werewolf
movie.
from London, where it's fun. There's a lot of good gore scenes, and honestly, Helena's 9, and she watched that transformation scene. While it's a brilliant scene, she kind of cringed. She's like, "This is too much." And I'm like, "Yeah, yes, it is, but it's great." But like, in The Howling is very adult. I mean, the first scene's in a fucking peep show, basically. A sex or it's a porn place or whatever. So I think it's definitely a family-friendly werewolf movie versus shit. Even Cursed is a family-friendly. The somewhat Wes Craven film.
Yeah.
Keith just watched for the first time tonight. I wonder if he watched it on 4K.
Oh, probably
4K.
It's funny is I got that on. I got the Scream Factory Collector's Edition Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched it yet.
Did I get that? I think I got that too.
I mean, I've always had it. I've always had it on DVD, but I wanted to complete my Wes Craven collection Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm. I know I have just the DVD. I thought I got the Scream Factory. I have to get that because I actually like this movie. That's what I have.
Yeah.
$3.99 when I got it. Because I got it like 2 or 3 years ago. Because I don't think it had been on Blu-ray at all since before Scream Factory anyway. Also have a couple other movies. I'm sure you've seen them. Have you seen this? Wolves? Yeah, you've seen this.
Yeah.
Howl?
Yep.
You did a video on Wolves and it got us a bunch of subscribers. Lycan?
Yep.
Which one's the best out of these 3?
I would probably go with Howl.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, because Lycan was boring as fuck.
Yeah.
This just wasn't very good.
I enjoyed it for what it was, but I could see where people don't like it.
Yeah, it was just okay. I mean, Jason Momoa is in it, right?
Yep.
And
that's the reason why my video got all those views.
Yeah, I mean, just put a picture of Jason Momoa up, and we'll get a bunch of thirsty women subscribing to our YouTube channel and following the Horror Syndicate. I should just put a picture of Jason Momoa as a werewolf up and see what people say and see what happens. We'll hit 50,000 view or 50,000 page likes probably.
Do it.
Oh, Jason Momoa, like he was on Jimmy Kimmel the other night and he showed his ass off, and I've seen it all over my feed today. It's like, and it's all been women sharing it. So, went to Galactic Star Cruiser and Galaxy's Edge the past 4 days. Best experience of my life.
Sounds like an excuse made up by someone who put on a green wetsuit and fight crime. Just saying.
Really? Oh, yeah.
You got it. All right.
Yeah, he looks just like Kick-Ass. Actually, the best experience of your life is watching the Horror Syndicate Discourse. Not Star Wars stuff. No thanks. What did I say? I forgot what I said already.
something yada 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 blah
Oh,
blah blah.
I think she might be talking about JSN Momoa. No thanks.
Oh,
You don't like hairy men? I mean, her husband used to have really long hair and a beard. Just saying. She likes her men like, are you a Sam or a Dean guy, girl? I need to know that before anything supernatural starts off. I'm waiting. Okay.
there you
She's
go.
okay. She's fine. So I was watching Smallville and we started season 4 today. And Jensen Ackles is in season 4 and he shows up in the credits. And I go, Dean! Like that. And my son's like, what are you talking about? It's like, that's Dean Winchester. Because that's funny that the episode before that, the last episode of season 3 of Smallville, Adrienne Palicki's in it, and she plays Jess, I think is her name in Supernatural, right?
Yep.
Yeah, which I thought was kind of funny. And then Supernatural comes a year after Smallville season 4. So
And here's another interesting thing too is you know how they had that prequel TV series, The Winchesters.
mhm.
They cast Tom Welling as
The
Mary's
grandfather,
father,
yeah,
as Samuel.
yep, I saw that. I saw something from like Comic Con or something like that. Didn't that show already get canceled?
No, it was just I mean, basically, I'll just put it this way: the clickbaity websites are spelling doom and gloom, but basically, the CW was bought by a different company, and they basically decided not to go ahead with a full season order. So it's staying at the 13 episodes that they already planned on for the first season, and they just they haven't given a yes or no to a second season. And in the article that was shared about them uh, not going forward with more episodes this season is that the source who told the publication that said this doesn't mean that it's not gonna these aren't gonna get a second season or not. We just haven't decided yet. So basically, you have another company that came in. They're looking at all the finances. I guess the CW has never really been profitable. So, you know, you got this company that's trying to, just like Warner Brothers Discovery was as of, you know, they're just analyzing everything deeply. But it's still planned for the 13 episode first season. It hasn't quite been picked up for a second season yet, but I don't think the ratings have been too bad.
I have no interest in watching that show.
It's okay. It's. I mean, it's even kind of the problem with the main show is by the end is that it was really kind of getting away from the horror side and was becoming too much like a CW show rather than what it used to be.
Hmm.
You know.
Hmm.
But the show's not bad in the way because it connects to Supernatural, so that's where it kind of draws me in. So I'll stick with it, but
Well, I mean, they've already had these characters on screen before in Supernatural, you know, Mary and John, and they keep just recasting these people. It's just annoying. And
that's the big issue I have with the series, and apparently it's all going to make sense by the end, but it's like they told the story in Supernatural, like, and what they established was that John knew nothing about Mary Hunton, you know, and so how they gonna tie everything together, I don't know, but we'll see.
they're not. Every show promises that. Yeah, we talked about shows that we think were movies that would be good as TV series. We mentioned Nightmare on Elm Street. We mentioned Odd Thomas, The Howling, In the Mouth of Madness, doing the Sutter Kane books as seasons of a show ran by Mike Flanagan. That was my idea.
Yes.
Yeah, another Scream series that took place within the main Scream universe, but it was copycat killers all over the country rather than each season would. I didn't mention that each season would be a different area, where there's a copycat killer of Ghostface, with alterations to the ghost. Maybe we could get the chainsaw one, like with the silver mask from Scream 5. Yeah, there's a few things. Now we're just kind of bullshitting around, talking about Supernatural a little bit, the TV show, and the Winchesters. Yeah, I season 11 I think was the last season I watched in full, and I have trouble going back to it now. Reynolds wants to watch it, my son, and I might have to start from the beginning, which I with him I would have to, and that's 15 seasons is a lot. I can't believe it ran that long, 300 plus episodes. It's like that's like half my life if I start rewatching it now.
Well, what you could do is you could do one episode per week. Just saying. Join our little thing that we're doing.
No, I don't want to do that. I mean, I love the show, I really do, and if there's a show that comes out of this, I'll pop in once in a while maybe for certain episodes, but I don't think I'd be on weekly. I mean, one show a week is hard enough as it is sometimes with the kids and everything.
Yeah.
That's Nate, by the way. It's official Horror Syndicate business. Oh, that's good. I hope he doesn't have to lay in bed and do the show like he was before. He was getting really bad reception. So anyway, is there anything else you want to discuss tonight?
Not really.
I'm going to do a show on my own channel. It's going to be talking about Smallville by episode. It's going to be called Talkville. Oh, wait. Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum are already doing that. They are. It's actually really, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it's really fun. They are maybe 16 or 17 episodes in to the first season, and they kind of just go through their memories on the set and with the people that were on the show. It's a really cool show. It'd be fun if Jared and Jensen did that. That'd be fun if they could do that.
Yeah,
but they're still pretty damn young. I want to see Tom Welling come back and be Superman. That's still a thing for me.
I got the box set of the complete series of that. I need to go back and rewatch them.
Yeah, it's on Peacock. It's on Hulu also. It's good. I'm really looking forward to watching the Superman and Lois show, even though I cannot stand Lois. I don't like that actress at all.
Oh, really? Why?
She's
her eyes.
Not. Yeah, that's part of it. She's not a good actress, first of all. Second of all, she doesn't appear as Lois. And then I saw Erica Durance pop up and see the first episode of season 4 of Smallville. I'm like, there's Lois, because she was the best Lois, I think.
Yeah.
Real quick, that we talked about the Friday the 13th Crystal Lake show coming to Peacock. We both of Seth and I talked about what we think the show should be, and personally, I think it should be in the 50s. It should be a period piece, and it should have to do with Pamela. I don't ever want to see Jason in the hockey mask in that show, but Seth seems to believe that we'll see an evolution all the way to Jason into the hockey mask, which I don't want.
All I really care about is if they at least build up to Joey and his chocolate bar and Vic being out of line.
I mean, yeah,
Vic needs to be out of line.
Who would we cast as Vic?
Shia LaBeouf.
I was gonna say he'd be good for Roy Burns, but whatever. Or Joey.
Well, if that's the way you feel.
Mark Venturini can't do it because he's long gone. But yeah, I hope that's what they do. I hope because I personally want to see Jason in film. I don't want to see him in a series ever. Like I remember a couple years ago, the CW was going to do a Friday the 13th found footage series. That made me mad. I'm like, come on, seriously? This is where we are in this world with Friday the 13th making a fucking TV series. I don't like horror films becoming TV series in general. Okay, I don't. I mean, this is a fun episode and everything, but like, come on. Let's keep it to film, because then I can't put. We talked about this with Child's Play. I can't put Chucky into the series rankings at all. That's not my only reason. That's one of the reasons, though. Patton Oswalt as Joey.
I can see that.
I'm on board.
It's tough too, like with Chucky, because Chucky is a literal direct continuation of everything that happens in all the movies.
And that bugs me. It's like, why do that? Why not leave the films as films and then do a show that's like a reboot or something? I don't. Oh, it's annoying. It's really fucking annoying. It's the same thing with Evil Dead. We got 3 really good Evil Deads and a fucking phenomenal Evil Dead movie, and then we got Ash versus Evil Dead, which is a great show. But it's like, God, I can't rank it. I can't. It doesn't. Again, with the Marvel stuff, I can't put She-Hulk with the Marvel movies. I can't put Falcon and the Winter Soldier with the Marvel movies. It doesn't make sense to me. They get more. See, the thing is, TV shows get more room to build and breathe, where movies don't. And so it's a totally different animal, and production is totally different. So where a movie can get $5 million for one 90-minute movie, a TV show might get $5 million for 8 episodes or something like that. And that's fucking, whatever.
Well, I mean, basically what was revealed in that, there was an interview with Brian Fuller, who's going to be the showrunner for Crystal Lake. He actually did the Hannibal show, which didn't hold up.
The Hannibal show was so boring.
Okay, so
did you watch it?
I have not. I've heard great things about it until tonight. But so that guy who's running the show, he did an interview, and this is the one where he was talking about how they could do anything from the movies. If they wanted to, they could do space. But in that interview, he mentioned that the movie rights are tied up right now because of the legal issues. So now it's between the studio. So the movie rights are kind of on hold at the moment. So that's why they're doing the TV show. So at least we get something, I guess, with Friday the 13th. It's not what we wanted. I would prefer a movie. I would prefer Jason Voorhees instead of Pamela. Like, I don't really hold the first Friday the 13th very high, like a lot of people do. I mean, I'll give it a fair shot. Give it a fair shot.
I will too, but I mean, I'm a person who wants more Jason movies. If I'm going to get more Jason, I want it in movie form, not TV show form. If they keep it separate, that's a whole different animal. So, which it will be separate from the movies that exist already, I know. But if they're like, okay, we did 4 seasons of the show, now we can make movies, and the movie is a part of the show. It's like, no, don't do that. Either reboot it or make it a sequel to something else. That's what I want. And by the way, I watched Friday the 13th the other day with Helena because she's not seen them all. So we're going through the series together. And I paid closer attention, and it's great watching things with her because she asks me questions about things. And I think it makes me like them a little bit better. Because I watched 1 and I'm like, man, after watching this with her a little bit, I like this movie a lot better. And then we watched 2, and 2 is already one of the best as it is. Oh, yeah. But I liked 2 even better, and I really like. Oh, and we're watching the movie, and then we're watching the Crystal Lake Memories segment for each movie after.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it is pretty cool. So it's like it's. I mean, the Friday the 13th movies aren't great works of art by any means, and we've talked about that, to our last breath. But like, it's really given me a new appreciation for the first movie and the second movie doing it this way. I recommend it. Watch Friday the 13th, and if you have Crystal Lake Memories, watch the segment on that, and then keep doing it with each movie. Because we're gonna watch Friday the 13th Part 3 tomorrow, I think, maybe tonight, I don't know, and then we're gonna watch the segment, and it's really cool because it's literally only like 2 hours to watch all of that. So, excuse me. Yeah, Crystal Lake Memories is phenomenal.
I started showing my girls the Friday 13th movies. We only got to the first 2. I want to keep going with them. Well, they've seen Part 6 as well. Part 6 is the one I showed them I think part
Yeah.
6 is the most. It's the one that you could probably show kids
Well,
much
I
sooner.
accidentally showed Reynolds Jason X, and I remember now why I did, because I was invited to be on this podcast.
Was he in trouble? Was
Yeah,
that a
he
form of
was.
punishment?
You're gonna sit down and watch this whole movie. No, it was 2015, so he was 7. I was getting ready to be on this podcast called the Horrible Horror Podcast, where they review bad movies so we don't have to, or they watch bad movies so we don't have to. And I know the guys. I've known them for, one of them I've known since I was in high school, since I was like 14. So we're talking almost 30 years. Aaron Southworth, and he invited me to be on the show, and I'm like, okay. He's like, pick out a movie, and I was like, I'm gonna pick Jason X, and I watched it, preparing for the show, took notes and everything, and they launched their very first episode the next day, and it was Jason X. I was like, I guess I don't get to do that one, so I get to, because that was their very first episode, and yeah, so I picked Night of the Demons, the remake from 09 or 2010 or whatever.
I haven't
It's
seen that
terrible.
one.
You haven't?
No.
So
I've only seen the first Night of the Demons. I haven't seen any of the sequels or anything.
I've seen 1 and 2, because 2's on Blu-ray finally, and then I've seen that remake. And I'm not gonna lie. Okay, do have a high threshold for bad movies or whatever, and I like that movie for what it is. It's very stupid. It's a product of its time, and I say that a lot, but it is. We're talking about an older Shannon Elizabeth, Monica Keena, who had 6 years removed from Freddy versus Jason. Uh, Somebody named, I think, oh God, I can't remember her name. Bobby Joe something or other. And it's funny because I wrote a review on it, and I wrote her name as Booby Sue or Booby Joe on accident. She's got giant boobs. Um, and then Edward Furlong's in it.
Yeah.
So, and he looks strung out. And I didn't know him and Monica Keena were a thing back then. So
I didn't know that either.
yeah, so I found that out, and I was like, oh, okay. So they made a movie together, and apparently he was very abusive to her and got her like hooked on all kinds of drugs. So it's funny if you watch Never Sleep Again and the Freddy versus Jason segment, they refilmed hers because she looks terrible in that. And if you watch it in the Friday the 13th Crystal Lake Memory, she looks completely different. Looks way better, way healthier. She must have been done with Eddie Furlong at that point.
Oh shit.
Yeah, part 6 is a great one to start off on. Yeah, well, part 6 is probably the most lighthearted of all the Friday the 13th movies. Definitely, it was the first one I saw. Definitely wanted to show that or Never Hike Alone, which really isn't part of the series, are probably the best ones to show people for their first experience with Friday the 13th. There's no nudity. The gore isn't too excessive. It's a great movie. I mean, honestly,
yeah.
What? What'd you say?
I said it's fun and it's light. So
oh yeah. And that might be why I like it so much. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything in it. A lot of callbacks to, classic Universal horror movies. So
yeah.
And plus Tom Matthews is great as Tommy, and Megan's fantastic. I love Sheriff Garris. It's a lot of fun. And my kids love that scene where Rick gets the gun pulled on him and he calls Tommy Jarvis a little turd. They used to laugh their ass off at that.
My kids love the fart head thing.
Do they think I'm some kind of fart head? Yeah.
I think my youngest actually at one point in a different conversation like brought that up just randomly. What do you think? I'm some sort of fart head? Like, I don't know. It's funny.
Were you like, yeah? Yeah, it's a good one. I mean, but I think you'll find that in a few of the Friday the 13th movies. I think at this point they're kind of tame compared to some of the stuff that's come out in the last few last few years. I mean, even like some of the ones that have more hardcore effects, like Part 4. Like Part 4 has some gruesome shit, like the guy getting his face smashed in the bathroom. That's got to be one of the best kills in the series. It has to be. I mean, that takes brute force to crush that guy's head, And then, like, shit, that death scene of Jason, his head sliding down the machete. That's that's messed up, But it's nothing compared to some of the shit that's come out in the last 10 years.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I love my kids have for the most part. Helena just doesn't remember them, but Reynolds, his favorite, I think his favorite series is Friday the 13th. He's got Jason stuff all over the place in his room, and I don't know which one's his favorite though. I'm gonna have to ask him, but he does like Part 5 a lot, and who doesn't? All kinds of boobies, all shapes and sizes. Love it. I love boobs. I can't help it. Anyway, so anybody have any questions for us before we bounce for the night? I'm gonna do tomorrow. I'm gonna record a video of all the movies I've gotten in the past few months, which I got this sent to me yesterday. It came in the mail, and it's got a
your review
quote.
on the back.
Yeah, that's a quote from me on the back, which is really cool, and it mentions the horror. Actually, the second movie also has a quote on the back from me. Um, but yeah, I got these are my Hammer. Well, this is an independent Scream Team releasing feature, but Lust for a was it Lust for a Vampire, Captain Kronos, The Mummy's Shroud, Phantom of the Opera, The Vampire Lovers. This one's from you, which I thank you very much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just need to somehow get Keith to help me get a case made for the other Mummy movie. But like seriously, I've gotten a lot. Like here's more movies I've gotten. We're talking Count Yorga, the abominable Dr. Phibes, Halloween 4K, which I don't have a 4K player, but this was just calling my name one day at the Best Buy. Let's see, Cat People, Dracula from it's 1979.
Yep.
A bootleg of the new Hellraiser movie. This is a bootleg that combines Halloween and Halloween 2. You know what was great about this? I forgot to tell you. So I was watching this. I watched the first 15 minutes, and it cuts from the credits. You know how? Okay, you know where it picks up right after the credits, the first Halloween movie, right? Where's it pick up?
It picks up with Loomis and Marion.
This picks up with that hearing that Loomis is at from the TV version, so that's added back in there. Oh. Which is kind of cool. And then it goes to Loomis and Marion at the. Yeah, I thought that was pretty fucking sweet. And then and plus it's looks like a legit, it's a bootleg, but whatever.
That guy has great presentation with his stuff.
He does. He really does. I can't mention him by name because it's a private group and it's invite only. So then I finally got Nope, the Black Phone, which I loved. This is another one of those.
I need to get that one.
I had to. I love the Chainsaw movies. This movie's not the greatest, but I really like it. Oh yeah, he does reversible art too. So I liked it, and I've got my Chainsaw collection, so I needed it. X, Saint Maud, The Lighthouse, the new Craft movie because my daughter likes those movies. Last Night in Soho, a couple of tie-in movies. All the Colors of the Dark. It's got my girl Edwidge Finnick in it. Remember her?
I remember her.
Case of the Bloody Iris and Nosferatu, 1979, Klaus Kinski, Werner Herzog. So yeah, I've gotten I used to do videos every couple of weeks when I'd get a haul, but I stopped doing that, and I was like, I'm gonna do it every quarter or something like that. So I did one at the end of April, and I was like, I'll do one at the end of August, and I forgot. And then now it's piled up. I've got over 40 movies here that I'm gonna do a haul video for. So let's see. Nice. I'm looking forward for the alternate director's cut of Curse of Michael Myers. So the producer's cut, it does have a different ending, but it's not great. The rest of the movie is, I think, superior to the theatrical cut. Just I don't like the ending as much. I've said this 1,000 times. I think they should make a supercut because the producer's cut of Halloween 6, it brings back the Halloween theme rather than the rock and roll type theme that they have in Halloween 6. And I know that there is this out there. It's the just the producer's cut, and it's on Blu-ray. I got that a couple years ago, and then the if you can find the Scream Factory set, that's got all of them. And I'm not sure if the 4Ks have the producer's cut or not, but that'd be worth looking into. I'm not a big 4K person, so
Yeah, it does.
does it? There you go. So it's out there. It's out there. Yeah, go order that. Yeah, you shot him 6 times. Yeah, order that. Get your Halloween on because Curse is one of my favorites. Even though it's bad, I still love it. It's so bad, it's good. Anyway, oh no problem, man. I am a bad influence. I want people to buy. I'm always trying to get Seth to buy shit. It's like, did you get this yet? Did you buy this? Come on, buy it. Get it.
Well, I'm a bad influence too. I'm always trying to get people to watch shit. Like trying to get Ray to watch Assault on Precinct 13.
Lord.
It's like I have a better chance of convincing one of my children to turn off the light switch without an argument.
I doubt that.
You still haven't watched it.
I know. When I started it, I got that far, and the only time it had to leave my Blu-ray player is to watch my Universal movies. So, yeah, you both are. Yeah, we're both bad influences. Well, don't even get me started on Keith. You don't know Keith. This motherfucker keeps showing stuff. Check out what's coming out. Check out what I just got. It's like, fuck you, man. Stop showing me stuff. You know I'm weak-willed. And it's not just horror stuff because he shows Star Wars stuff or video game stuff. It's like, Keith, I'm going to kick you out of the group. You keep showing me this stuff.
He kept sharing the James Bond steelbook stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's like, dude, you're going to get booted.
I'm going to have to buy it now. Thanks, Keith.
Yeah, like, thanks a lot, motherfucker. At least give me a Hammer case for my movie. No, we love Keith. Wish he was back on the show. Anyway, yeah, is there anything else that anybody has before we go? We're going to wrap it up. I'm probably going to watch Friday the 13th Part 3, one of my least favorites with my daughter. I hate Chris. Least favorite.
Understandable.
Yeah. Richard Stringham, he made a movie called Close Calls. I put my top 8, the Paramount 8 final girls. I ranked them all, which I was hoping you would do, but you didn't.
Well, I did on the Horror Syndicate page.
Oh, I didn't see that. See that I'm having a problem with the Horror Syndicate. Since we've been getting all these people, I can't see every comment anymore. It's like it's become too much. It's overwhelming. Like I used to be able to see every comment because we only get 5 or 6 comments. Now we're getting one of our posts had like 200 some odd comments. I'm like, holy shit, I can't read all these. Which it's great though because we're over 22,000 followers now. And I think I am gonna bring back that series of me reading actual comments because I enjoyed doing that, and a couple people on our YouTube channel seem to like it. So I want to do something. I love the opening 15 minutes of Friday the 13th Part 3. Yeah, I love it when a guy doesn't wipe his own ass after taking a shit. Fucking Harold. Motherfucker's grazing. He's basically stealing from himself by grazing from the shelves of his own store. Like there are some good things about part 3. I like Shelley, which most people don't seem to like Shelley. I like Shelley. I like Vera quite a bit too.
Yep.
And there's good kills in there too. The eye pop scene's really good. I like the guy who's walking on his hands and he gets chopped down. Yep. I mean, there's some merit to it, but like most people say they love Part 3 because he gets the mask, and I know I've said that 1,000 times, but it's like that can't be the only reason you like that movie, because the mask is present. I mean, technically, if you want to get technical, he gets the mask again in Part 6. He gets the mask again in Part 8. It's like, stop making that the reason why you like that movie. Part 2 is way better than Part 3. Part 4 is way better than Part 3. So. And Part 5, in my opinion, is way better than Part 3, and that one gets shit on the most. So anyway, I know I keep saying we're going to get off here, but I can't stop. I can't stop talking, I guess. Yeah, and that's one of probably the saving graces of the third movie is well. Also, I will have to give a shout out to Richard Brooker's performance as Jason. He
Yep.
kind of set the standard going forward for what Jason was going to be, and then Ted White took it from Brooker and took it up like 1,000 notches,
Yeah.
and then I think C.J. Graham kind of did his thing, and then of course Kane Hodder came in and became the iconic Jason, I guess. I don't think Tom Morgan gets enough credit, but technically he wasn't playing Jason, although he did play Jason in the nightmare scenes, but that was just a nightmare. So, and he also played Michael Myers.
Yeah,
but he got fired. Was that part 4? Or was it part 5? I can't remember. Which one did you get fired from?
I don't remember.
I think it's part 4. I think it's part 4. I'm almost certain it's part 4. But because he was, I don't remember what happened. Something to do with one of the makeup artists. So that documentary that I sent you the other day, where the guy breaks down. Did you watch those?
No.
You just check this guy out, man. He does some thorough breakdowns. There's shit in there that I didn't even know about, and I know a lot about these. And since we don't get like Halloween, and then 2 and 3 have great documentaries for each movie, but there's not much for 4 or 5 out there. And he did 4, 5, and 6. Actually, did 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, H2O and Resurrection, and they're all really good. A lot of stuff I didn't know about. Fuck, I can't remember what the channel. Where'd my phone go? How did I lose my phone? Did I leave the room? Oh, it's under all the stack of movies. I think didn't I send it to you, or did I send it to the Horror Syndicate group? Because I'll never find it in there.
I think you sent it to the group.
Son of a bitch. You're right, I did. Damn it, Seth. What am I'm never gonna find it now. I can't remember the channel, but huh?
So you have a better chance to find it in the Lost Ark.
I know. It's ridiculous. But I want to share it with everybody because if you love the Halloween movies, these are really good documentaries. It's this. Okay, I found it. It's Leighton Eversole is the name of the channel. The story of Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers. They're about 45 minutes to an hour long, but he did all of those. He did It, the TV series. I'll put a link to his channel in the comments if anyone wants to check these out because they're definitely worth checking out, I think, anyway. But I like watching documentaries. Did Salem's Lot? I just said that, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a dumbass, man. I'm such a fucking... Here's the link. All right, let me go to the show and drop it in to the show chat. Show chat. And then I will leave everybody alone for the day. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, ours, the Horror Syndicate on YouTube, please do. We're getting close to 1,200 subscribers. Dr. Film Reviews is his channel name before. Anyway, yeah, check it out. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I'll put this stack back over here. Seth, anything you want to say before we wrap up?
Fuck off, weed. That's it.
Halloween 4K. Yeah. Check that link because you'll get hooked. I spent last Saturday night for about 4 hours watching these little documentaries. He's got a good voice for it, and he puts some good stuff up. So check it out. Anyway, thanks for joining. Any of you who joined with us tonight. On Wednesday, we'll be back with the Horror Syndicate Discourse, and we're talking about 2 really old fucking movies. So that'll be fun. The Old Dark House and what is it?
Cat and the Canary.
The Cat and the Canary. What? Oh, come on. Everybody have a great night. Alex, thanks for joining us for whatever you did. Star Wars is not more important than us. Just remember that. I'm just joking. It was up until 2015. Anyway, or 2017, I should say. I like the 2015 movie. Have a great night. We'll see you guys next week.